This is how to mix beautiful off-white colors with acrylic paint. So in order to mix off-white, you need a lot of white paint. And what I like to do first is to add a little bit of water, or even quite a bit of water actually, to make the paint really soft and creamy before I mix in any other color. And then, in order to mix one of the most common creamy off-white colors, you simply mix in a tiny amount of brown. Really just a tiny bit. And if you mix that very well with your white, you'll get this amazing creamy off-white color. And in order to make your off-white a little bit darker, you can simply add a little bit more of your brown. And the more brown you add, the darker your off-white will become. And the good news is that you can really use any brown you have for these off-white mixes, because any brown will lead to a beautiful result. And I'm sure it's going to look absolutely amazing. At least as long as you don't put in too much of your brown. And then, if you want to create a slightly warmer off-white color, you can add a bit of yellow to the mix. And the same rule applies as before, only use a tiny amount of yellow, or you'll get a light yellow color, like we've got it here, instead of an off-white. And then if that happens, simply add more and more white until you get to the exact off-white color you'd like to have for your painting. And in my case, I just didn't wash my brush, so there's a little bit of brown in our mix. I like that a lot. But of course you can also use just the yellow without any brown in your mix. Just try the different versions out and see what you like best. And these are, in my opinion, really the most important off-white mixes to know, like using brown and or yellow. You can also use orange otherwise, that's very beautiful as well. And of course, if you want to go a bit farther into other directions, you can mix in any other color you want. I chose here a beautiful cyan blue, and let's see what happens if we add that to our mix. And look at that, absolutely beautiful, don't you think? And you know, off-whites are just softer and more natural looking than pure white, and they can completely change the mood of a painting. It's really worth experimenting a bit with them. And by the way, if you want to remember these color mixes for later, I created a little PDF as an overview for you, and you can download that completely for free. The link is in the video description. And now it's up to you to grab your paints and do some color mixing of your own. Have a lovely day. Bye bye!